KCTV5's Natalie Davis is live in Kansas City, Kansas with more on what Grillett and his doctors are saying about his recovery. Natalie?
For the first time since that shooting, we spoke directly to Ian Grillett. He's been here at the University of Kansas Hospital recovering from that night. Here's his account of what happened. Just another night at Austin's.
Just kind of hanging out, having a good time, having a little bit of dinner, drinking a couple beers, catching up.
Ian told us he intervened during a conflict and escorted Adam Purinton out of the restaurant. But he says 20 to 30 minutes later, he returned with a gun.
We all got under the table, and after he was done shooting, I thought he was out of rounds. I was like, you guys have heard, I need to learn my counting skills a little better.
It was his chance to stop him. He leapt from the table and got almost close enough to touch him. But Ian says Purinton shot him, that bullet traveling through his hand and then into his chest.
I got a cool souvenir.
He jokes to break the tension, but the truth is that bullet narrowly missed his carotid artery. He couldn't hide his emotion.
Still is obviously very hard to talk about, but I'm just very thankful that I was able to make it out alive.
He's being hailed a hero, though he says he doesn't feel like one. If one good thing could come from this, he wants this message to be heard.
Stop the fighting. Love one another. Life is too short for hate and anger. There's no reason for it. Yeah, you might get a little mad at your neighbor, but I bet you a little grilling session of some hamburgers or hot dogs and a cold beer ought to solve that.
Despite all he's been through, Ian continues to have a positive outlook, never letting go of that sense of humor. He's received a lot of love locally and across the globe. His doctor today actually called him the darling of India. They love him so much over there.
And for the first time today, one of the wounded men, Ian Grillett, spoke with reporters. KCTV5's Natalie Davis is live at the University of Kansas Hospital. And Natalie, people have called Ian a hero for his actions, but today we learned he also received some help that night.
Oh, absolutely. He is alive and recovering here at the University of Kansas Hospital, and he's extremely thankful to two men in particular who waited with him until medical help arrived.
We were only here for about 3 minutes when the shooting happened.
3 minutes. Then absolute chaos.
People were panicking, running. Tables were falling over. People were hiding. Chairs were falling.
We came around the exit side of the building and came around the corner, and that's where we found Ian. And we stayed with him until the paramedics arrived.
Luke Cheever and Jake Long found Ian Grillett soaked in blood. They put pressure on his wounds and did their best to keep him calm.
We actually talked about fishing for a second.
They bonded. Ian even told us he cracked a joke as he was whisked away by paramedics.
They said they didn't know if they could lift me into the ambulance, and I was like, am I too fat or what? Trying to keep a little humor. And
several days later, he and his caregivers were reunited at the hospital.
As soon as we walked into his room, he knew exactly who we were and, stood up and gave us both a hug. It felt really good.
It was amazing to be able to actually thank them for saving my life, because without them, I probably wouldn't be here.
Luke and Jake were in the right place at the right time. They say they were meant to be there to help Ian.
It was life-changing. That's all I have to say, really. It was something we'll never forget, that's for sure.
Doctors say Ian is strong and well on his way to a speedy recovery. Ian credits his doctors and the outpouring of support he's received, not just locally, but across the globe.